Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It is episode 5 of What's on the Bench, and I've got a lot of projects going on. As per usual, it seems like build season for me is constant, year-round, and there's never a shortage of projects being done. So let's not waste any more time and get right into the first update, which of course is the Comanche, which is right there. Now we're gonna have to cut so I can swap it out and bring it over here so I can look at it and talk about it. And something else will go over there. I don't know what yet. So the Comanche is done. If you watch my videos or if you've seen previous videos, you know that I took this truck with me to Pennsylvania, where I ran it at both Roush Creek and AOAA, another amazing off-road park that we actually drove our full-size trucks, our full-size one-to-one daily driver one-to-ones. And we brought tiny trucks with us to pass some time as well. This is, of course, a VS410 chassis kit underneath and the 3D printed Comanche back end. It's all done now and it's looking really good in my opinion. I'm really pleased with the cage work. This is all brazed by me, cut up by me, and designed to sort of look exactly like the full-size reference that I was referencing for this build. It is an interior. It is 3D printed by R3 Designs, which is a guy very close to me, actually, locally, and he does some really great stuff. Ryan has helped me out in the past with a lot of other builds, and this was no different. He was able to deliver these nice and quick, and I give it a quick, simple paint job, and interior design is a bit weak, and it's not my best work, and that's only because of the center-mounted 3-gear transmission and dig unit that I put on this VS410. It's, like I said, it's not totally accurate, but it's pretty close, and there is room for a driver in there, albeit a bit squished and maybe not totally with all of his limbs. Aside from that, though, I'm really pleased with the overall look and finish of this truck. I think it does a pretty decent job of representing a Comanche, especially one that actually exists in real life. So I'm pretty thrilled with it. I did do the cut in the bed so you can actually see the Vanquish fuel cell there. I covered a little bit with a little tiny scale accessory recovery box that I have put in a bunch of different trucks over the years, so it's nice to actually see this pop up again. The paint is a metallic silver that is specific to Comanches of this era, which I was pretty happy to find. There's a great resource online where you can actually buy paint cans of actual automotive paint. So this will match exactly, and it'll be totally accurate, which is a really great way to do it. It's a really heavy build, so I had to go to the much firmer springs for these incision shocks. Front of the truck, this is an updated grille. This is a more of a 96, 97, 98 style grille for an XJ, and this is an RC Nerds product, and it bolts right onto the front of this Team Raffi cab without any trouble whatsoever. I did give it a pretty good sanding. It probably could have used a little bit more, but I was rushed for time and I wanted to get this done. This is a Scalar Fab front bumper. It is extremely aggressive, quite beefy, but I thought it suited the look of this truck really well, and it sat perfectly on the chassis, so I went with it, and I'm really happy that I did. These headlights are from Mtr RC, and they are designed specifically for the Cherokee body. But they can be used in a bunch of different applications, but it just seemed to work perfectly here. I really like the aftermarket look that it kind of brings to the front of this truck. And because it's a Mtr RC product, it has 3 ranges of brightness too, so you can adjust that via the radio if you so choose. It's a really cool system. I will definitely put a link below where you can check those out. Otherwise, pretty straight ahead. It all seemed to come together really nicely. I love these Wrangler Mtr tires. I've been using them on pretty much every build lately. These are the 4.19 size, so this could be Class 1 legal if I were to compete with it. But I'm not sure I would. It's pretty heavy. It wasn't really designed to be a comp truck. It was designed definitely to be more of a trail truck. The addition of dig, of course, takes it out of Class 1 spec and Class 2 spec for that matter, but it is a very cool feature and I really like using it. One other thing that I did want to mention about this truck is the way I mounted it. I did use some rare earth magnets and it's on there pretty good. I think I could use a stronger set of magnets if I were to do this again. But it does a pretty decent job, and I have 3D printed those mounts myself. Glued a set of magnets to the inside of the body. You can see those right there on the front and on the rear. And those slot directly into place on the chassis, which I'm going to show you now as well. So there's the set of magnets on the front there and the set on the rear. It is a pretty heavy body with all this cage work and everything, and 3D printed, of course. And I'm going to need to look at getting some stronger magnets in the future. Ultimately, though, I could not be happier with how this build turned out. It was definitely a rush job, but I'm really pleased with the results. And not only does it look good, I think it does an excellent job on the trails. Yeah, it's a fun build. Enough of the Comanche, let's move on to the next build. A lot of folks have been asking about updates on the Toyota Trekker build, and I'm happy to report that there are updates to deliver. It's not just a body anymore. The chassis has been looked at, the body has been sanded and primed and sanded and primed a few times, and I'm very close on actually having that ready for paint. There are some other exciting things that have been happening to this truck, especially underneath the hood. And now I'm running the GCM front motor mount transmission and transfer case. And with that, of course, comes a 22R courtesy of Scale Design by Mr. Comedy. This is a great 3D printed motor. It looks perfect in the position it's in, and I am super excited to have this layout now. It will allow me to build a full-size, full-depth interior and really detail it out. It's not going to be a quick build, but it's going to be a great build, and I'm really excited that I've got some things underway to make this a much more realistic looking truck. I think I was doing myself, and in fact all of you viewers, a disservice by not taking this to the right proper level. And I'm happy and I feel a lot more motivated now that I've done this. The biggest disadvantage to this style of kit is that you do lose the battery tray, so we're gonna have to come up with a creative solution to get a battery into this truck. It's sort of totally necessary to have a battery, so we're gonna have to think a little more creatively on this one. I've also updated the front bumper. This is a RC four-wheel drive front bumper that I think comes with the Marlin crawler. It actually fits really nicely onto this truck. I did have to 3D print my own bumper mount, and this is actually going to still have to be revised again to make room for a GCM servo mount, because the servo obviously gets relocated when you move all of the stuff out of it and add this transmission. So it's at a good level right now. I'm gonna have to try to maintain that and also build in a servo mount. So luckily I've got a 3D printer. Otherwise I'd really be kind of finding this a challenge. 8-hole Cerakoted beadlock wheels from CNC Customs are all done. All of the bolts are on. They look awesome. The offset is great. It does make for a nice aggressive looking trekker. These are pretty accurate to the full-size truck that I'm modeling this one after. I'm really happy with these wheels. They look awesome, and they're just made by a really super cool guy. I'll put a link down below where you can check out his wheels. Additionally, I found some paint that I'm going to use on this truck. It is a metallic gray. It's called Graphite Dust, and it's from Testors. It's a one-coat lacquer. So we'll see how many coats I actually have to do. I'm guessing it's going to be more than one. But I thought it was a good looking color. It's got a bit of flake in it, which is really nice. It's a very thin flake. I think this is probably meant for static models of a much smaller scale, but I think it's going to scale up nicely for this build as well. I've also got the stripes ready to go. It's sort of a blue, silver, gold thing, and that's also from a full-size replica that I'm modeling this after. So those will be pretty cool to put on there as well. Yeah, we're getting there. It's getting there. It's going to be done eventually. And finally on today's episode, I'm almost done with the SCX-24. Yep, it's a tiny little Toyota. And it's looking pretty good. It's a static model body, of course, from AMT. And it's not without its issues, but I think this has come along pretty well. I managed to keep some interior in there. There you go. And did some work to it to make it kind of look a little more realistic. No dashboard, no total floorboards either, but it's close enough for jazz, and I'm pretty happy with it. These are RC four-wheel drive wheels and tires. These are just Super Swampers, TSL Boggers, and I thought it kind of looked like a bit of a Hawaiian truck. I don't know why I thought that. The stance, probably, and the big wheels. Anyway, it looks pretty good. And almost wrapped up with that. Just need to get some decals on there, and we're calling this one done and moving on to the next one. Still has all the articulation of the original SCX24, just adds some nice scaled details. Wipers, the works. Yeah, hinged the body, so once the interior is mounted. On those interior details, you can see there we go. I've actually got some flocking on the seats, so they kind of look a bit more like fabric and less like plastic. So once that's all done and everything's mounted, it'll be easy to access everything because the body is hinged. And I just kind of adapted the existing hinge mount from the SCX24 and made it work with this body. So that's that. I think it's looking pretty fun. We'll be ready for Flex Friday in no time. Oh, there's one other build going on, and I totally almost forgot about it because I haven't actually even started it yet. Whoa! I had for a long time had a hankering to put together a Tamiya kit again, so I picked up a CC01 Isuzu MU, or Mu. Maybe it's Mu? MU, it doesn't matter. I find that there's always a lot of nostalgia around building a Tamiya kit. I think they have some of the best trucks on the market in terms of the building experience. There's so many fun bits and pieces to a Tamiya kit that it just kind of felt like natural to have another one come into the workshop. I have no space for it. I am out of shelf space. I have too many things on the go, but I had to get one because I just love putting them together. They are so much fun. The CC01 is a very old kit, and it's been around for ages. Probably, and I bet you I'm right on this, 20 years, if a day. And there isn't much different about it over all those years, and they don't perform all that well, and they aren't that accurate. And in most cases, Tamiya puts a body on it that isn't independent front suspension, but you know what? There's just something so great about it that I had to have another one. So there you have it. That's some updates. There are things that have happened to the Range Rover since I last showed it on What's on the Bench, but not enough to actually warrant showing it in this episode. I do have a lot more work to do on that truck. I really want to get it done though, hopefully before snow falls, so I can actually take it out and drive it. I am very pleased with the progress I've made despite all of the other things that I got going on in my life. It's nice to see that things are actually moving forward. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild. Thank you so much for watching. See you again soon.